Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Before we start today's session, I want to share a small thought with you. Believe in yourself even if no one else does it. This quote is really close to my heart because in the journey of learning and growing, there will always be challenges and doubts. But if you have self belief, you can overcome anything. With that positive energy, let's dive into today's interesting topic bias and variance. Two key concepts that every machine learning student must understand deeply. Alright, so before jumping into details, let me quickly show you what we are going to cover in today's session. Topics to be covered. First, we will start with bias, what it means, and why it's important. Then I will take you through a real world example of bias so you can easily connect theory with practical life. After that, we will also look at a graph for high bias to visualize how it actually appears in machine learning models. Next, we will move on to variance, understanding it clearly, followed via real world example of high variance and again a graph to see how it looks when models suffer from variance. Once we understand bias and variance separately, we will explore the most important part, the bias-variance trade-off. Here, I will share some real-world examples so you can easily relate, and finally, we will analyze a graph for bias-variance trade-off to wrap up the complete picture. So by the end of this lecture, you will have both the intuition and visualization to understand one of the most fundamental concepts in machine learning. So let's start with the very first concept from our list, bias. In simple terms, bias is the error that comes when we use a model which is too simple and it fails to capture the actual patterns in the data. You can think of it like this. Imagine making the same mistake again and again, not because you don't know, but because your approach itself is oversimplified. That's exactly what high bias does in machine learning models. So bias is basically the error caused due to oversimplification. Now that we understand what bias is in theory, let's look at a real world example to make it crystal clear. Imagine you are building a model to predict house prices, but instead of using multiple important factors, you only use one feature, the number of rooms. For example, house A has 3 rooms in New Delhi, size 1600 square feet, and its actual price is 90 lakhs. House B also has 3 rooms, but it's in a tier 3 town, smaller in size, and the price is only 40 lakhs. House C again has 3 rooms, this time in Mumbai with 1300 square feet area, and the actual price is a massive 1.2 crore. Now here's the problem. Our simple model says if it has 3 rooms, the price must be 45 lakhs. So no matter whether it's in Delhi, Mumbai or a small town, the model predicts the same 45 lakhs. This is what we call high bias. The model is too simple, ignoring important features like location, area and amenities. And as a result, it underfits the data. It can't capture the true complexity of real-world house prices. So bias is basically the cost of being too simple. Now let's try to understand bias more clearly with the help of this graph. Here the green line represents the true function. This is like the actual pattern in our data. For example, the real relationship between features and house prices. The blue dots are our training data points, the actual values we collected. But look at the red dashed line. That's our high bias model. Notice how it is way too simple given by the equation y is equal to 0.5x plus 0.5. The problem is clear. This red line doesn't follow the actual pattern of the data at all. It's always far away from the green line, no matter which part of the graph you look at. This is exactly what we call high bias or underfitting. The model is too simple. It cannot capture the real complexity, and as a result, the predictions are consistently wrong. So just like in our house price example, where we only used the number of rooms and ignored other factors, here too the model oversimplifies and ends up making errors again and again. Conclusion. High bias means the model is not flexible enough to learn the actual pattern in the data. So now that we have seen what high bias looks like, a model that's too simple and keeps making the same mistake again and again, let's move to the other extreme. This is called variance. In simple words, variance is the error that comes when a model is too complex. Instead of learning the main pattern, it starts reacting to every small detail or even noise in the training data. Think of it like this. Someone who keeps changing their opinion again and again, even on tiny details without sticking to the bigger picture. That's exactly what happens in high variance. So while bias was about oversimplification, variance is about overreaction. So to really understand high variance, let's look at a very relatable example from student life. Imagine a student preparing for a science exam. Instead of actually understanding the concepts, this student just memorizes last year's question papers word for word. Now what happens in the exam? The questions are slightly rephrased or come from new situations and suddenly the students get stuck. For example, the student memorized gravity pulls objects down to earth, but the exams ask why does an apple fall from a tree? The student is confused. The student memorized water boils at 100 degrees Celsius, but the exam asks what happens when water is heated at high altitude. Again stuck. The student memorized Newton's third law definition, but when asked for a real world example, they can't think of one. So, what's happening here? The student can only answer when the question matches exactly what they memorized. But the moment the question changes even a little, their performance drops. This is exactly what happens in high variance models. They do very well on training data because they memorize it, but on new or unseen data, their performance collapses. In other words, they fail to generalize. So while bias was about being too simple, variance is about being too sensitive, reacting to every small details instead of focusing on the real pattern. So we just saw how rote learning student struggles when even small changes are made to the questions. Now let's look at how the same idea appears in machine learning with this graph. Here, the black line is the true function, the actual underlying pattern in the data. But look at the dashed lines in red, blue, and green. These represent three different models trained on slightly different data sets. Notice how each model gives a very different curve, even though the overall data is quite similar. This shows us the problem of high variance. The model is too sensitive to the training data. Even a small change in the data leads to a completely different output. Instead of capturing the real pattern, the black line, the models are overreacting to the noise. This is called overfitting. The model performs really well on training data but fails to generalize when new or unseen data is given. So just like our rote learning student memorizes exact answers but can't handle slightly rephrased ones, high variance models memorize the training data but fail in real world situations. So now we have seen both extremes. On one side, bias, where the model is too simple and underfits, just like our house price model predicting the same value for every house. On the other side, variance, where the model is too complex and overfits, just like our rote learning student who memorized answers but couldn't handle new situations. The big question is, what do we really want in a machine learning model? The answer is balance, and this balance is called the bias variance trade off. In simple words, bias means the model doesn't learn enough and makes error even on training data. Variance means the model learns too much, including noise, and makes error on new data. The trade off is about finding the sweet spot, not too simple, not too complex. Our goal is to build a model that performs well on both training and test data. That's the perfect balance between bias and variance. So now that we understand the idea of a bias variance trade-off, let's go back to our house price prediction example to see how this plays out in real life. Imagine you want to predict house prices using features like size, number of rooms, location, age of the house, and nearby facilities. Case 1, high bias, underfitting. Suppose we built a very simple model, like a straight line that only looks at the size of the house. What happens? The model completely ignores other important factors like location or number of rooms. So it makes big errors both on training data and new data. This is like saying every 100 square feet adds 1 lakh to the price, which we know is not always true. In short, high bias is equal to model is too dumb. Case 2, high variance, overfitting. Now let's go to the other extreme. Imagine we build a super complex model like a very deep decision tree that tries to perfectly fit every single training example. What happens? The model memorizes the training data, even the random noise. It gives excellent results on training data but fails badly when faced with new data. This is like saying this exact house with 3.5 rooms, 1270 square feet, built in 1996 will cost 93,42,135 just because one house in the training set had the exact price. High variance is model is too smart in the wrong way. Case third, balanced trade-off. Finally, we choose a model that considers the important factors like size, rooms, and location, but doesn't overfit small fluctuations. This model captures the overall trend. Houses in city A are costlier than city B, and more rooms generally increases price. But it also knows that real-world data won't always follow one rigid rule. Balanced is low bias plus low variance is best generalization. So, the summary is too simple is high bias is underfitting. Too complex means high variance means overfitting. Just right, balanced trade-off. Good predictions on both trading and new data. So in the house price example, we saw how a very simple model had high bias and a very complex model had high variance. Now let's look at this graph to understand the bias variance trade-off more clearly. On the x-axis, we have model complexity moving from simple models on the left to very complex models on the right. On the y-axis, we have error, basically how wrong our predictions are. The red line shows bias square. You can see it starts high on the left because simple models have high bias, but as model get more complex, bias decreases. They capture more patterns from the data. The blue line shows variance. It's the opposite. Variance is low for simple models, but as complexity increases, variance grows a lot because the model starts overfitting the data. The purple line is the total error, which is bias square plus variance. Notice how it forms a U shape. At first, error is high because of bias. Later, error is high because of variance. But in the middle, there's a sweet spot where the error is minimized. That's where the model achieves the best balance. So, the key takeaway is the goal is not to have the simplest model or the most complex one, but to find the optimal balance, the point of minimum error where bias and variance are both reasonably low. So friends, we just explored how bias and variance affect our machine learning models. We saw that if the model is too simple, it underfits, and if it's too complex, it overfits. The sweet spot is to balance both, and that's exactly what the bias variance trade-off is all about. I hope this made the concept clear for you. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share it with your friends and subscribe to the channel for more easy ML explanations. Alright, that's all for today's session. I will meet you in the next video with another interesting topic. Till then, keep learning, keep exploring. Tata, bye bye.